Brand new adventure today. We are deep in the mountains of West Virginia, aren't we? With our brand new friends.
Hello.
Hey, Ryan, Katie.
Hi.
Right. I see you were talking like crazy before. I know. She's like, I don't care where you're at. So you guys, I appreciate you inviting me up here.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, it's a big property that you have permission on, and it's way up here. I mean, it was like the road coming up here was incredible. It's a dirt road for like ever, it seemed. But yeah, this is a really old property. There's a cemetery right behind me where some, at least one of the graves is 1820, right? And there's Confederate soldiers buried in there. You were telling me that there is a slave cemetery.
Yep.
Legend has it somewhere up here.
Right.
They actually don't know exactly where it was, but it's like 40 some slaves that died in an epidemic of scarlet fever.
I believe,
Yeah, can you believe it? So somewhere up here, they think it's up around here somewhere. There's that cemetery. So we're gonna look around for that, see if we can find that. I suspect it's gonna be up here, because you said it was close to the cemetery, this one, but they don't know exactly where. So yeah, it's gonna be a great adventure. We're gonna actually metal detect, not just talk. But you need to talk more, because you have to help me carry the video, okay? Really beautiful up here. You can see the big hall is the main house is right around the corner. Post-war, Civil War, but there was one there during the Civil War. It was burned during the war. But isn't it beautiful up here, huh? Just absolutely gorgeous. And guess what? Another mystery we're going to work on, right, is this thing up on the hill.
Yeah.
Because up on the hill, there's a big area that has a stone wall around it, and they call it the fort.
Yeah.
And so we don't really know what that means. I'm not sure. Do they know what it means? Well, we're going to see if it really is a fort of some sort. See if we can find any artifacts around it. If that doesn't pan out, well, we got, just under 1,000 acres that we can look around on today.
That's right.
We'll be busy all day. Oh yeah, one more thing. I didn't get to your YouTube channel. You just got it started. So you have a video up.
Yes.
Right, and it's called
Appalachian Unknown.
Appalachian Unknown.
Yep.
All together, split.
Split. There's a space.
I'm going to put a link to it, but go over and check them out, okay? I mean, you don't have any videos yet, but they're going to have another one today. I better see that camera out. You better be taking video.
Yeah, we got it.
All right. You hadn't started, though. You could have got me doing this. In here, there's some stones sticking up, and those are markers of some sort, and you can actually still see the depressions of the graves here. There's one there, and you see several more up that direction. So there are other graves in here that aren't like really marked with names. That's probably one too right here. That's probably a grave marker that's actually outside of where they fenced off. So it is possible that the slaves could be buried inside there, but in my experience, it's unlikely. They usually had a separate cemetery. Now looking over here, that's a grave probably right there. We see some more dips. I mean, that's almost, it's just like what we're seeing inside the cemetery. So this could actually be the slave cemetery outside of where they would bury the, well, for lack of a better word, their owners. See another dip here like this. It's very uneven right in this area. So I'm suspecting this could actually be the slave cemetery right here. All right, enough of that. Let's go up on the hill, check out the fort, get some detecting done, and I'll quit yapping. You can see me. So, Appalachian what? Adventures?
Appalachian Unknown.
Appalachian Unknown. So that tells me that it's not just metal detecting,
Yes.
I hope.
No.
All right.
Nope.
Look at this. I'm walking up the hill, going to the fort, and this old rock popped out into view. Isn't that cool? That is a fossil. You can see a shell there. It's nice, like a clam shell. And you can actually, that's like a big, what do you call that? Snail, like a big snail shell. That's actually quite beautiful, I think.
It is.
That there, yeah. There's another clam there. So we can be on the lookout for fossils today. Some people actually like fossils.
I used to collect them.
Early, my wife does. My wife collects them. I don't, but that's kind of neat looking. See, half a video. We got half a video already. We haven't turned the machines on. Okay, we finally got to the top of the mountain. This is what the locals call the fort area. And you can see that there's a hill and there's stone walls going up all the way around it. Big like square up here. And so what we're going to do is work our way. I'm kind of excited because there's water here. Obviously, they made a pond, so there's a wet weather spring coming out. So we'll search around here a little bit, go up on top. One other thing I want to show you real quick is, I should have done this. Guys, this place is so beautiful. It's down here. There's another big pond, little stream that goes up and goes into the hill. So there could be another home site down here. There's barns and stuff, but no one's, the owner has not ever said anything about there ever being a house there, but I suspect there is. All right, let's get to it. We'll do a little detecting here. If this doesn't pan out, we'll head down over the hill to that spring, the stream, and those barns and stuff. Whew, if I catch my breath. So here's the deal. We've been around this area, what they call a fort, and it's basically a field on top of the hill, kind of square walls going around it. And I think that's exactly what it is, just a field that they cleared, and they used, made walls out of the rocks. So what else are you going to do with them? So there's probably corn or tobacco or whatever up here at one time. The interesting thing though is we came in down here, walked up an old road, but there's an opening in the stones right here. And if you look, look at that. I mean, you couldn't bring a wagon up there or a truck or anything. So I suppose this is probably an opening for the laborers, the slaves, or whoever was working these fields to come in. They probably just walk straight up the hill. And if you look down there, the cemetery's right down in there somewhere. So what we need to do is follow. I keep trying to do the scene, and there's something in the background that if some locals saw, they'd recognize where we are. And I keep trying to do the scene, and I keep moving, so he blocks it, but he keeps moving. So I was just saying, half jokingly, but if we follow this path down the hill where the people were on foot, if there is a path, it should lead to their cabins, because they would come from the cabins directly up the hill to work the fields. And there's probably a lot of them here if they had 40 slaves that died. This is really about all I found up here. A couple shotgun shells, and it looks like a 30 caliber carbine. And look, I guess it's a 44 Magnum cartridge. A little bit of iron, not enough to be any type of structures like a house or a cabin or anything up here. So we're going to head off the hill, and we're going to go down to where we, this includes you, think there's probably a home down in here at this little settlement. That's where the stream goes up that we were talking about earlier. So we're going to go down there and look for that house. Now, you say the owners don't really know of any old home sites down there, right? They don't know of any. But we're suspecting. We think it should be one down here. So we're going to work these fields a little bit, get down a little closer to the water, get a close-up look at any knolls that are down there where they might put a house. There's a little cabin over here. It's a log cabin. We'll check that out on the way out, too. But, yeah, I mean, there's got to be something here. There's got to be a home here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, they've had it for like 100 and some years, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and if they don't know about it, that means it's really old. It would be really old, abandoned for a long time, the site, so there shouldn't be a lot of trash around it.
Right.
Modern trash. It won't be full of beer cans and stuff. Just good stuff. Probably burned during the war. Has a nice little signal up here. Let's go look and see what it is.
Where?
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Yep.
Yep.
That dreaded beer can. But you heard it, right?
We did. That's a sign.
Awesome. So we're down here where the cows are, and we started picking up a little more iron in this area, little blips and blops. And I did find a piece of lead, which has me a little bit excited. Not sure what that might go to. I don't like the patina on it, meaning that it doesn't look like it's been in the ground that long, but it's definitely lead. So we're going to keep working. Iron's still picking up. It's probably fence wire. A lot more rocks in this area. There's going to be a house that's going to be like in here, maybe on over there on that little slope right there. So where do you guys think a home would be? A house that might have been here in 1810. Here's a little pole barn, and that's not too old. We'll take a close look at that. Another barn, big pond, so we know there's water. A little knoll here, a little knoll there. Other side, there's going to be a spring up there. That's what we're trying to figure out. This is actually kind of the nicest location right up in here. Look where the hay bales are, I think. I'm somewhat kind of interested in these limestone rocks too. You notice, yeah, this is limestone. When we first started, we looked at a fossil that was in sandstone. So we're right on that limestone sandstone barrier. But anyway, not a barrier, but you know what I mean. This is a limestone rock wall right here, down from the building. So they could have put that in for the pole barn. And they obviously have dug this out. Don't see any like big concentrations of rocks that could be a chimney pile, but Yeah, that's probably just where they built that up. So the barn, they had more room for the barn. Not seeing any bricks or any signs of a home here though. So we'll look around just a little bit more and get right back to you. So we made it down to the barn area, and if you look behind it, this pole barn, I thought it was kind of interesting that there's this rock wall here, and I was thinking that maybe this could have been part of an old home, where the old home sat, because, you know, those are good building stones, but I suspect now that I'm looking at it, it was probably just put here to help make the flat area for that barn. Getting down through there, lots of iron showing up, but I'm afraid that it might be from that era, which, although that is a beautiful barn, let's take a look at it. Beautiful pole barn. You know, that's like 1900. We want 1800. All right, so we're gonna keep looking, and hopefully we'll find some stuff soon. I just can't figure out where the house would be if it wouldn't be right here. I mean, obviously, you know, you get your water down there, a nice little flat area, maybe by the hay bales. I just don't know. That's half the fun, because we're going to find out, hopefully. Don't want to get your hopes up, man. So we're in the area right above the pond, and there's a ton of iron through here. Okay, a lot of iron. This is the first piece that I've actually dug, because it was kind of flat, so it was squeaky. Don't know how old that is. That could be 1900, could be 1800. Iron right here, we're gonna, so you can see it's rocky, it's very rocky, so that's kind of telling me it's possible this could have been where a house stood, 100, 200 years ago. So we're gonna work this area real good. I think if this is a house, this is where it's gonna be, under those hay bales. I mean, seriously, probably under the hay bales. Still haven't really come up with anything, but there's a lot of iron. The higher up this hill I get, the more the concentration increases. So I'm looking in here, and sure enough, there's a foundation right here. There's a hay bale. As you can see that there's some sort of stone wall coming out. So there's a foundation of something, whether that was a house or a barn. That we just look at that thing. Wow, that's like copper, big old copper. Oh wow, that thing's probably worth $1,000. All that copper. But anyway, in here is something. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through the gate. And we're going to poke around in that foundation right there. That's absolutely 100% a foundation. And I wouldn't doubt it's the house, a really old house. Okay, so we're inside the gate where the hay is, and obviously you can see that they had a pole barn here at one time. They got the poles in the ground, so it's definitely they've used it recently. But I think this is going to be older. You know, these rocks do not go as far as those poles. Comes out to here, nice and square. Little platform right here. About the size of a nice cabin, isn't it? But I'm not seeing any pottery, broken glass, bricks, anything like that in here, so I'm a little bit nervous. But yeah, I'm thinking this, yeah. See how there's a little mound? That's probably where the chimney stood right here. See that rectangular area? That's probably the base for the chimney, and that's the rest of the house. We're gonna find out as soon as we dig in the ground and start finding square nails. And I'm gonna get you out for this. Well, yeah, actually, I forgot to show you what I'm using today. You can even see it. So what I'm using today is a Garrett AT Max. 0 program, 0 discrimination, maximum sensitivity. Got 2 bars on the batteries, which is fine for now. And let's just listen to it together in here and see what you think. A lot of iron, man. There's definitely enough for this to be a home site. But we're gonna have to dig. Well, there's a good sound there. There's going to be a lot of junk too, because they obviously have used it for hay. I'll have to get my shovel for that. But I think there's plenty of iron in here to be a home site. All right, what I'm going to do is go ahead and dig around a little bit, and then I'll get back with you. Just give me a couple minutes. I just can't be a complete. Oh man! Now, if I was a kid, actually even now, that would be a great place to crawl up in there and take a nap. All right, so I've been zipping around in here for about 15-20 minutes. Found nothing old, just finding stuff like this, which is obvious. I don't know what that is. It's a little cable of some sort. I got a target down here, which is a rifle casing. I'm shooting deer probably, and one other target over here, which is a piece of a can. But tons of iron in here, but they're just not getting anything old. I think what we're going to do next is we're going to go over into this field. And if this was a house, this would be a good area to look right out in here. He's telling us that's where the treasure is. And we're saying, no. Yeah, Yeah, so I just got this, which is a little iron ring, but it's not that old. Could be 100 years, but not 160. Jump the fence here, we'll keep at the gate. That's what I really do believe that is a foundation of a home with chimney platform in the back. Over the fence here, still some iron. I just dug a horseshoe, which is not necessarily indication of that being a house, but that's an older shoe at least. At least. Yeah, I guess that was right. So yeah, so at least we got half of a horseshoe. Lots of iron on this side too, so we're going to just go ahead and just work this area. And if this doesn't pan out, we're going to hit this little hillside. I'll just get ready to fill the hole and put the horseshoe in a bag. And in the hole, I spied a nail. So this is a square nail, which will predate these buildings that were, that are here now. They're all round nails. We looked at them. So this is another clue that this could indeed have been an older cabin. Let's look some more. Okay, so that's where I think the house was up there, and there's so many rifle casings on this side of the fence, I just gave up. And I'm looking at the sinkhole over here. Now, we have to go look at the sinkhole. Check that thing out, man. Look at it. Wham! We could be looking at brand new caves on this farm, man. This is awesome. We'll check it out some other day. This is something I've never seen, and you may not ever either because they're running away. Look at the skunk cows. They got like white stripes down their back with white tail. I mean, you probably can't see them, unfortunately, but they're hilarious. I've never seen anything like it. I'm kind of up in a different field, and I think there might have been a house right where I am squatting. If you look, there's a little depression here, and all of a sudden I started hitting tons of iron in here. Big, had a big signal here, so I went ahead and dug it. Now, this is not a house type thing, but there's a horseshoe there. An old horseshoe. You see there's a rock. And it looks like there's some other evidence of, well, that's probably just, I don't know what that is. Well, anyway, it's really, really dark soil, which is kind of unusual for this farm. And just tons of iron. So we're going to keep looking around. Hopefully we'll come up with at least a button or two or something to tell us this might have been a cabin. But, as the day's been going on, I'm not so sure we're going to find one. But we got a lot of land to check. Still having our little adventure today. The landowner, the farmer here, apparently ran out of fuel in his tractor, and he blocked. This is actually a county public road. So we're going to help him get his tractor started. We're going to have to pull it. So we're going to hook a chain up to it. And he's going to drive it down the road, and then we're going to try to jump start it. Because I don't know why he's got to pull it. I don't know if the battery, maybe the battery's dead too now. I'm not sure, but whenever you have a machine that you run out of diesel, it can be very difficult to get started again. You have to bleed the lines and stuff like that. Gas, no problem, but diesel is a whole nother animal. Car coming! Car coming!
Say, he was like, hey.
Oh. Yeah, so there's a car there. So what he did is hook the tractor, and we'll let the car come through, and then we'll hook it back up again. So we're going to give her a pull and see what happens.
We got Ron driving the tractor.
What?
I don't think he was ready.
Ran over something. There you go. That man's crazy. Look, you don't put this through his tire when you ran over it. Want me to unhook you? Do you want this chain? All right. Why don't you take the tractor down, put it in the barnyard, and we'll come down and get you, okay? I guess he wants this chain here, so I'll sit on the floor there. We'll come down and get you. All right, yeah, we're gonna jump in the truck and we'll get Ryan because he has to go down to the house, drop that tractor off. We'll see you on the next one.
Hidden in her dirt or deep in her creek, Mother Earth, she ain't saying exactly what she's saving, where it is or what it